Ethan was the youngest heir to the wealthy Hawthorne family, known for their sprawling business empire and opulent lifestyle. His life was a tapestry of privilege and luxury, but it was often overshadowed by the heavy expectations placed on his shoulders. For Ethan, every decision in his life seemed preordained, dictated by his parents, Marcus and Eleanor Hawthorne. The most recent and shocking of these was an arranged marriage to a woman he had never met, a woman who, rumor had it, always hid behind a veil. The family dining room, adorned with golden chandeliers and an endless mahogany table that could seat 20, was eerily quiet the evening his parents broke the news. Ethan sat at one end, his frustration evident in the way he clenched his jaw. Across from him, Marcus sipped his wine with the practiced composure of a man used to getting his way, while Eleanor folded her hands neatly, her sharp eyes studying her son. "This isn't happening," Ethan finally said, his voice cutting through the silence. He shoved his plate aside, the untouched steak now cold. "You can't be serious." Marcus set his glass down deliberately. "This isn't a request, Ethan. It's a decision that has already been made." Ethan leaned back in his chair, running a hand through his dark hair. "A decision made without me. How thoughtful." "Enough of your sarcasm," Eleanor snapped. Her tone was icy, yet tinged with urgency. "This is about more than you, Ethan. It's about preserving the legacy of this family." "Preserving the legacy?" Ethan repeated, his tone incredulous. "By marrying me off like it's the 18th century? To a woman I've never even met." "You'll meet her soon enough," Marcus said evenly. "Her name is Isabel. She's from a respected family. This arrangement is mutually beneficial." Ethan scoffed, shaking his head. "Respected family? Is that why she hides behind a veil? What's she hiding? A scar? A secret identity?" Eleanor's gaze hardened. "Don't be cruel, Ethan. Isabel has her reasons, and she doesn't owe you or anyone else an explanation." "Maybe not," Ethan shot back, "but apparently I owe her a lifetime." "Because you're the heir to this family," Marcus said, his voice firm. "And this alliance with the Whitmore family is critical to our business. This marriage is as much a partnership as it is a union." "So it's a transaction," Ethan said bitterly. "Good to know love has no place here." "Stop being dramatic," Eleanor said, softening slightly. "No one's asking you to love her, Ethan. We're asking you to respect her and fulfill your duty." Ethan's fists clenched as he stared at them. "My duty? My duty is to marry a stranger and give up any chance of choosing my own future." "You will have everything you could ever need," Marcus replied calmly. "And so will she." Without another word, Ethan pushed his chair back, the scraping sound loud in the quiet room. He stormed out, leaving his parents in the golden glow of the chandelier, the weight of their expectations like a suffocating blanket over him. Upstairs, in the solitude of his room, he poured himself a glass of whiskey and stared out at the distant city lights. The anger in him was sharp and unrelenting. The idea of an arranged marriage, to a woman who wouldn't even show her face, felt like a cruel joke, a relic of a bygone era. The next evening, the atmosphere at the Hawthorne estate was tense. The Whitmore family was due to arrive for dinner. Ethan entered the sitting room where his parents waited, their expressions giving away nothing. Moments later, she arrived. Isabel entered with quiet grace, escorted by her father. Her long veil flowed delicately over her shoulders, obscuring her face but leaving her piercing gray eyes visible. Those eyes, sharp and intelligent, seemed to see right through him. Eleanor rose with a welcoming smile. "Ethan, this is Isabel." Ethan extended a hand automatically. "Likewise," he muttered, though his tone lacked sincerity. The dinner was an exercise in strained civility. While their parents exchanged polite conversation, Ethan's attention remained fixed on Isabel. He couldn't help but wonder what she was hiding. Finally, halfway through the meal, his frustration spilled over. "You don't have to keep that on," he said, his voice low but firm. "No one here is going to judge you." Isabel looked at him steadily. I appreciate your concern, but I prefer to keep it on. Why? Ethan pressed. Are you hiding something? That's enough, Eleanor snapped, glaring at him. But Isabel remained unbothered. I'm not hiding anything that matters, she said softly. What's beneath the veil isn't relevant to this arrangement. Ethan leaned back, his arms crossed. Arrangement? That's an interesting word for a marriage. It is what it is, Isabel replied calmly. Our families need this alliance. There's no need to complicate it with unnecessary emotions or expectations. Her words hit Ethan like a slap. So that's how you see it, he said bitterly. No love, no compassion. Just a business deal. Do you believe otherwise? Isabel asked, her tone measured. Ethan opened his mouth to reply, but found himself at a loss. Her composure unnerved him. She didn't seem bothered by the situation at all, while his emotions were in turmoil. As the days passed, Ethan found himself both frustrated and intrigued by Isabel. Beneath her veil, she exuded a quiet authority and intelligence that caught him off guard. Despite his initial resentment, he began to notice her kindness, her thoughtfulness, and the way she carried herself with dignity. One morning, as he struggled with a difficult business merger, Isabel appeared in his study. She pointed out a clause in the contract that he had overlooked, her insight proving invaluable. Another day, he found her in the kitchen, charming the staff with her warmth and sincerity. These glimpses of her character began to chip away at Ethan's assumptions. Still, the veil remained. It was an ever-present reminder of the barrier between them. One evening, as they sat together in the library, Ethan finally confronted her. Why do you keep hiding behind that veil? He asked, his voice edged with frustration. Do you think I can't handle the truth? Isabel looked up, her eyes calm but filled with quiet strength. This isn't about you, Ethan, she said softly. It's about me. I wanted you to see me for who I am, not for what I look like. But it seems you've been too fixated on the surface to see what's right in front of you. Her words hit Ethan harder than he expected. For the first time, he realized how shallow and judgmental he had been. Isabel wasn't the enigma he had made her out to be. Beneath the veil was a woman of intelligence, kindness, and depth, a woman who had chosen to challenge him to look beyond appearances. From that moment on, Ethan began to truly see her, and in doing so, he began to understand not just Isabel, but himself. Ethan opened the meeting and paused, his eyes briefly meeting Isabel's with a warm smile. Before we begin, I want to take a moment to acknowledge my wife, Isabel. Her vision has been absolutely critical in shaping this project. I couldn't ask for a better partner. Both in business and in life, Isabel met his gaze, her own smile soft yet assured. Thank you, Ethan. And I couldn't ask for a better teammate. The room filled with a quiet murmur of appreciation, the respect for their partnership palpable as the meeting got underway. Later, as the two of them walked out of the building together, the city skyline shimmered in the distance, the glow of the evening lights casting a golden hue over everything. Ethan turned to Isabel, his voice quiet but sincere. I never imagined this is where we'd end up, he admitted, his tone tinged with wonder. Isabel tilted her head slightly, her eyes sparkling with humor and affection. Neither did I, she replied. But I think we've done pretty well, don't you? Ethan laughed, the sound deep and genuine, before pulling her into a gentle embrace. Better than I could have ever hoped, he said softly. As they stood there, the world around them seemed to fade, leaving only the sense of profound gratitude and connection between them. Ethan realized that the life they had built together wasn't simply the product of good fortune or circumstance. It was a testament to the strength of understanding, respect, and love, a love that had grown not from surface attraction, but from the deeper truths they had uncovered about each other over time. In that moment, he knew without a doubt that they were exactly where they were meant to be, together. Their journey, one that had begun as an arranged marriage, had blossomed into something far more profound, a partnership founded on trust, mutual growth, and unwavering support. They stood there for a moment, the quiet hum of the city surrounding them, their future stretching out like an uncharted map. As Ethan gazed at Isabel, he realized that the life they had built together wasn't a matter of mere chance. It was a testament to the strength of understanding, mutual respect, and a love that had grown steadily and deeply over time. It hadn't been love at first sight. Their relationship had begun as an arrangement, a partnership dictated by circumstance rather than choice. But through shared trials, dreams, and vulnerabilities, they had uncovered truths about each other that went far beyond the surface. And now, standing side by side, Ethan knew with certainty that this was exactly where they were meant to be, together. Their story wasn't about perfection or fairy tale romance. It was about growth, resilience, and the courage to truly see and value another person for who they are. What had begun as an arranged union had blossomed into a profound partnership, a partnership that celebrated love in its truest form, built on trust, respect, and an unyielding commitment to grow together. Sometimes, the most extraordinary journeys begin in the most unexpected ways. Their story reminds us that true love isn't about appearances or fleeting moments. It's about the profound connections we forge when we dare to look beyond what meets the eye. Their story serves as a reminder that true love isn't about first impressions or appearances. It's about seeing, understanding, and valuing the person beyond the surface. Sometimes, life's greatest treasures are found when we take the time to look beyond what is immediately visible. If this story resonated with you, don't forget to share it with someone who might need a little inspiration today. For more tales of love, resilience, and transformation, stay tuned for the next chapter from Beyond the Surface, where every narrative is sure to warm your heart. Thank you for being part of this journey, and we'll see you next time with another unforgettable story. Thanks for watching. Subscribe. Beyond the Surface.